Hi, I'm Dr. Cheryl Meyer, and today we're talking about finding your purpose still through a soul awakening. Knowing how to actually live out your purpose. I'm under a tree again. I love it. So, welcome. I have been going to like a million conferences lately, a Tony Robbins event, and all these other coaches. So, I've been learning so much more, and anyway. Really, a lot of this comes down to how are you going to step into your own destiny? How are you going to be courageous to live what you came here to live? This is when they keep asking me, what is your why? Why are you a psychologist? Why are you a life coach? Why do I care about people so much? And why am I reaching out to help you guys, to work with you guys here, by giving you guys this content? Why is it in my life? And it's just in mine, it's always just, I want to be the fullest version of me that I came here to be. Like I don't want to just throw away my opportunity of life. Why did I come here if I'm just going to live a mediocre life and be scared and keep being afraid of what could happen and not take chances? And one thing that's coming up is well, two things. One person said, this guy that I just heard this morning was saying, people forget the pain sometimes of not having what they really wanted to have. And I don't mean like possessions and stuff like that, but you have a deeper soul calling to live out your purpose here. And we can numb ourselves and get ourselves all caught up in the things of this day and other people and drama and entertainment and TV. They call it give the people bread and circus. They used to call that in the old days to the kings and stuff. Just give them enough entertainment so that they're numbed out, and enough bread to live on so that they'll keep going to their jobs and serve us. And I don't want to live like that. So I mean that gets pretty but when you start looking at the world like that, and I never want to encourage a pessimistic viewpoint, because it doesn't matter what other people are doing. It's what are you doing? What are you doing with your life? How are you choosing to interact with yourself? How are you choosing? So the other thing that was coming up was this woman challenged me. She said, what she's seeing is that God is purifying me, God purifies us. The divine love is love. It's the fullness of love. And so it's like, if you have a divine purpose here to love people well, we don't have to be perfect, but it's like the divine will work with you to keep burning away and purifying what's not meant to be in there, what will harm other people when you're reaching out to help them, what can harm them, so when you take this courageous path and risk looking like an idiot and risk going out there and risk being different than how you grew up, and risk biting the hand that feeds you, basically. They say, like, when you get to this island, Tony Robbins used this thing about when you get to the island, this army came to this island and they had to conquer it. They were enemies or whatever. And, and he turned around and he burned and there were less on their side than the other side was way more people, but he burned their boats and he's like, we either conquer or die, and they did. They conquered that island and won. And so it's kind of like that. It feels like that over and over and over and over and over again. It's like I've had to let go and surrender everything, like everything. Like, I don't know if I will live on the streets tomorrow, kind of thing, you know, and not have anyone that backs me up. It doesn't matter, because I am alive now and energized, and I'm living in my soul purpose. And this is not about me. This is about me wanting to give to you guys the same thing. And so this woman was talking to me, and she's like, I see this is a purifying process. God will use everything bad that happens to me. Divine love will use to like stoke that furnace, so it purifies me even more and turns me into gold. And I want the same for you. But she said it's kind of like he's preparing you. He, she, God is beyond gender. I always want to say that, because I think of God as this beingness, absolute infinite beingness, this beautiful beingness that just loves with this amazing, anyway. But and so God, divine love, I call it divine love so we don't just limit it, but divine love wants you to align with love, and has this purpose that I won't describe all the details of how you knew the purpose or how it came about or who knows it or whatever, but divine love knows it. And like, let's say you have this higher soul self. Some people call it your baptized self, or something that's not your egotism, that is aware of this, and your mind is just this little thing, you know. And I sometimes I do that. I'm holding my phone right now. I'll use this thing. Like, your mind is like right here, and your soul is behind that. Oh, this tiger will come into play. Your mind is like this, and your soul is this bigger thing back here. And your soul has a much deeper knowing, and it's connected to the divine, and it can lead you on this process. But you have to learn how to silence the other voices that you're giving all your energy away to. And if you give your energy away to addictions, and I'll talk about that in a second, then you don't have this fuel. It's like if you're a rocket ship and you're meant to go to the moon, you need all this fuel in order to rise up. And you're not going to have that if you're dissipating your energy, if you're giving it away to pleasing a bunch of other people. And believe me, I was taught as a child how to be a people pleaser, and it was keeping me from my destiny. And so she was saying, this woman, Latoya, that I love, I got a private session with her today, was saying that God prepares you to be in like the king or the queen that you are. If you don't accept your destiny path and surrender to it and be courageous and walk in it and towards it, you don't go into that path. It's like how I'm seeing it now, okay? It's like if there's doorway number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, you have this highest timeline or highest destiny path. And you don't have to be perfect, but it's to keep surrendering what you're asked to surrender. Let go of anything. Nothing I was holding on to was worth anything compared to this. Like, nothing. No amount of money or failed relationships that I didn't have any control over anyway. All I could do was be my most loving self. And in that, set boundaries. If people aren't going to show up, that's on them. They're the ones missing out on that. I'm not going to miss out on this, my highest path. But it's kind of like she described, and she doesn't know my channel, and that I, like, the last video I did, I started bawling my eyes out this morning, because the last video I did where that guy Josh Savage wrote a song for me. At the end of those songs, I played the song twice. I had just a clip. I don't know how it was there. It was a random clip of me playing the Lion King song on the beach. And it's like, it's enough to make kings and vagabonds believe the very best. And if you watch that video is like an activation for your own soul. Because as other people, okay, we're like the modern monks. This is so cool. I'm just getting the downloads right now, understanding it. So I kept wanting to go to this mountain, Mount Athos, but women aren't allowed on that mountain for specific reasons they have for the men to just be fasting from interaction with women and stuff like that, and chaste and stuff like that. So anyway, but what happens, other monks, I read a bunch of books from other monks that have been on this mountain in Greece, and the consciousness level that those monks are at from this prayer all day long, and being in the flow and in God, and dedicating their whole life to this in a courageous way, activates them and brings them into a higher state of consciousness. And so as I go into this higher state of consciousness, even I put up a video. So the video before that was the Lion King one that was called Celebrating Creativity. Okay, that's only 6 minutes or something. The one I did yesterday, I just put on one where I was at a trampoline park and I was doing flips and stuff, and it activates this idea of you just going after what seems scary, you know, because I had other people that are living their passion in their life, and they commented like, I'm afraid to do flips or whatever, you know. And it's like, guess what? Face your fears. That's what I'm showing you. I'm not trying to show off like that I can do flips at the trampoline park, because this is just like a natural thing for me, because I had to face that fear a long time ago, to face my fear of learning how to do a flip. And then there's also fear of to keep doing it, you know, after college and stuff like that. And it's like, and I still do it, you know, and because I always want to challenge myself to live at my edge. So what LaToya was telling me today was like, it's like the Lion King. It's like you leave, he left, you know, because he was about to be killed, the young lion whose dad was king. And then the uncle took over and he left. But then he realized, like, if I don't go back and be king, all of these people are going to be affected. They're all going to be harmed, because I'm not taking on my destiny path that was meant for me to take on. Only I can take on the certain one that resonates with my name and with everyone that's prepared me up to this point. Like, so many people in books and in life and in training and in schools, and have trained me, and my clients, learning from my clients. So many people have poured into my life to train me to be where I am and who I am. And I got a clip last night, and I sang this 8 months ago or something, I don't know when. I was on the border of Mexico, and I just stopped and pulled the car over and started singing, we're jamming in the name of the Lord. And I sound horrible. I sound ridiculous. And I look ridiculous. I was in a parking lot, you know, and it didn't matter, because my intuition called me to do it. So I did it. And it doesn't matter how ridiculous I look, because last night I was putting something up on Instagram for, you know, for my, for the private channel where I'm working, and I'm giving them information about something else. So it was a work thing. I'm putting it on, and I only follow like 2 extra people on that page, so it's only my clients, and one of them's Bob Marley, because it was like, oh, just follow one person and then to get your Instagram started or something, I don't know, whatever. So I had a Bob Marley feed, and he was singing that song, and he was just like, no bullet can stop us now, we neither beg nor we don't bow, we're neither bought nor can we be sold, jamming. And he says something also. He says the I and I will see you through. The I and I. You have a higher I than your egotism, your present day personality self. You have a higher I. But that's a deep, deep, deep subject. And I've talked about it a lot on my channel, so you guys can go look at that all you want. I talk about it everywhere. But today, I really, really want you to know, get into this Lion King. I know this is a tiger, but like Lion King mode. It's oh my gosh. Oh, so weird. I was just praying about this yesterday. I was asking about what's this cat thing I didn't understand, because I saw on my own video, I got activated by my own video, a little, I had a Hello Kitty thing, and she's like, you know, and I was saying I can't stop singing because I loved it. I was in the flow, and I was encouraging people in that song. But I was like, what is it about cats that kept, because when I was in Turkey, this cat came up to my leg, and I got this intuition about it. And I'm not like, you know, anyways, I'm like, God, the divine love will just use whatever's in all of your surroundings, you know. And here I am, just because it's cold, I put on this sweatshirt, you know, wearing this But what I was going to say is what LaToya was telling me is God, divine love, is preparing you, doing everything that divine love will do to get you ready, to keep getting you ready, and so that you can go into your highest purpose. But what I was going to say is, and so that a big cat is a lion, you know, and I get to be my lion queen, you know, and you get to be your lion king or your lion queen. And it's just taking what LaToya said this morning. She didn't know anything about this with me, but she was speaking from the spirit, you know, this higher spirit in her that she yields to is saying, she's like, you know, that you may take on the spirit like a lion, you know, who takes no prisoners, you know, who goes after what they want. And like an eagle, you soar. And an eagle, she taught me in this class I was taking of hers, soars to highest heights. And only other eagles, it only sees other eagles. Chickens can barely get off the ground. I love her. She's like, I ain't talking to no chicken, I'm talking to eagles. And I'm talking to eagles as well. If you're here, then you have a calling to this higher place. Chickens only jump off the ground when they're scared. They fly a little bit. I've seen chickens at my grandma had a farm. She had chickens back there. We'd go get the eggs and stuff. Man, but they get all nervous and they fly up like 2 feet off the ground, you know. But eagle soars high and sees things from a higher height. You have this high calling, and oftentimes you're alone like an eagle, alone flying high in the air. But everything you give up, I'm telling you right now, everything you let go of is so worth it. I'm in so much more peace right now. There was something I wasn't letting go of in my life, and I didn't realize. And other people have taught me now, chemically, they say it's like more addictive than heroin. You can be addicted to love. This idea of love, it's not even love, it's like an egotism's version of love, where someone keeps giving you scraps, or they show up for a little bit and then they bail and they disappear, or you know, some people keep like six women or 6 men hanging and keep their stories going. And gosh, I know someone that this happened to the other day. I won't say because, you know, in case they watched the videos, and I don't want to tell their personal story, but it's wild. But what I was going to say about that is, when you're in the middle of your numbness, whatever you are, I was like a mom and I was numb, you know, and not daring to do my own purpose and blaming it on other people and other circumstances. I said, oh, if this happened, if this could happen, if only my spouse at the time was not holding me back in this way or whatever. And they're all, I see through them now as excuses, because I was afraid to act out in boldness and have courage to follow my destiny path within that relationship. Had I known a way to make that relationship work, I would have done anything I could to do so. And I feel like I did, but I don't want to go into that, because I don't mind. You know, I don't mind being transparent, but that's not what I'm talking about right now. What I was going to tell you is that, you know how they say you can't like take a frog and put it in a thing of boiling water, it will jump right out. But if you put it in warm water and keep getting it more and more warm, then it gets to boiling, then it's dead, you know, and then it gets eaten, or whatever happens to it after it's boiled, it's dead. So it doesn't matter. Is what happens is, I got out of this warm water. It's like I kept staying around for scraps, and because that's what I was used to in childhood. And so I'm telling this for you guys to apply it to your story, is if you're used to your parents saying they love you, but like not showing up intimately, not showing up to really teach you, because they're not acting in their highest destiny. They're not acting from this highest place. They gave up a long time ago and numbed themselves and made excuses for that. And the excuses really do feel like life and death. Like you really do feel like I'll give you clarity on this, is it's like when you're a child and your parents say, let's say they'd say horrible things like you're no good for anything, blah blah blah. I'm around people that their parents said a lot of good things, but they weren't acting in their highest selves. And so we only learn to limit ourselves to as courageous as our parents are. And you're meant to be way more courageous, okay? You know, as courageous as a lion, you know, and a king and a queen who have people to serve. You have people to serve. By reigning well, not by just being up there and lording things over. No, by soaring to high heights and telling people what they look like so they can go there as well. Okay, and so if your parents said, you know, you're never going to amount to anything, and if you tried and they were like, it made them jealous or it made them feel inadequate or whatever it did for them, oh, that's stupid. What do you think you're trying? You can't be an artist. Like if you read the book, My Name is Asher Lev, I loved that story. I got to meet Chaim Potok, the author of that, when I was 17 or so. And I told him how much it impacted me. But it was this guy, and his dad was a rabbi, and he wanted him to be a rabbi. You know, and you have to go to this school and you have to be really smart and do all this stuff. But he was an artist. He came here to be an artist, but he came here in a family to be an artist, in a family that wanted him to be something else, that told him he had to be something else. They're going on their logical mind. So in their mind, they're in fear and lack mentality. So it's no wonder they think bad things are going to happen, because they keep predicting the bad things. They're in this fear mentality. And so they teach you to be in a fear mentality. And so they teach you you can't act in those courageous ways and be an artist. An artist is never going to get anywhere. You know, what do you think you're going to go with that? You know, and so you learn to keep putting yourself down and not activate that. Or you learn to go, oh, you know, I'm going to risk everything and risk my parents hating me. Okay, and so if you risk your parents hating you as a child, you risk dying, because they're the ones that feed you. They say, don't bite the hands that feed you. And so your egotism, in a way, is learning how to just protect yourself by taking shortcuts, by taking the easy route, it's like, if I think of it in the dating realm, you know, it's like if I dated someone right now that was like, I don't really care about doing stuff in my life. I don't really care about, you know, blah blah blah, I don't know, they're just not passionate about their lives. Like, it would be me being scared to actually receive the invitation of someone asking me to date from a higher it's like someone that's someone that's choosing to live their highest and their best. You know, it's like I could sell out because I think that, oh, this guy just has a job and that's all I want is to date someone. I used to say male, Christian breathing, but I had way higher standard than that. But I mean, in a way, it's just like weird. Okay. In a way, you just learn from childhood not to have higher design. But when you yield to divine love, to God, to this higher source, like a higher way keeps opening up for you because you're willing to go. And so the divine love and the angels, or whatever you want to call it, your higher soul self. That's why I'm saying waking up to your divine purpose and becoming that, it keeps opening up for you. And it's so invigorating and so fun. And so many tears and so much letting go of what you loved so dearly that you have to let go of. If it won't rise with you. And I'm not telling people to leave a marriage. I'm not saying that right now, in this moment. I'm saying raise your standard. You keep going and look and watch. But it's this old child. When you raise your standard, it changes the standard for everybody else. It raises the consciousness in the relationship. So what I say to my clients is either that person will rise up to that, or they often run away from the relationship or something else. I don't know. I don't want to make predictions because I don't want you to manifest that. Just you keep yielding to divine love and watch what happens, and be fearless. And that means in your fear, keep asking. You shall receive. You will receive the courage when you dare to get out of that pot and stop settling for mediocrity. Stop settling being a chicken when you can be an eagle. Don't be a cat when you can be a lion. Don't be a pauper when you can be a queen and a king. It's this lack mentality. And so just because our parents didn't see this higher vision or didn't live it doesn't mean that we're meant to limit ourselves. And so what I was saying is that when I let go of the things that I was holding on to, that I didn't even... Okay, so what happens is, again, if you let go of what your parents told you your limitations were, then you feel like you're going to die, because I might go out there, my parents reject me, and then I don't get fed, I don't get a house, I get kicked out. Tony Robbins did get kicked out of his house. He had to live on a mountain one night, and then he got to live in someone's laundry room for a while. It's like, so what? So what if everybody rejects me? So what if I die tomorrow? If I die today, and I'm living according to the way that my highest calling is, then that's what I'm gonna do. Like, I don't care anymore what I lose, and that makes me dangerous. And so there are forces that don't want people to be this powerful, and forces in the air, and forces in the world, because they're dominated by egotism, and so they want to control people. But there's forces in the air, there's unseen forces, and you guys know what I'm talking about if you grew up the scriptures. You can look that up, put it in the comments if you want. We fight not against flesh and blood, against powers, principles of authority. And you're giving away your power. I just feel so bad for people right now that are giving away their power, like I was giving away my power, keeping me from my destiny path. And so really, honestly, I know this woman that was talking about, when someone's gifted in a fivefold ministry or something is called, in all these different ways, they are sometimes attacked more because there's like an anointing on their life, and so there's forces that want to keep them distracted from that, and so they'll offer them all these other side things along the way, and you can get sidetracked into those. And I didn't realize how deeply I was in it. It was like the frog, until I was like, nope, I'm not taking this anymore. I am worth more than what I was accepting. And so I just said goodbye, that's it. And I let go. And as I let go, I had to keep asking God. You ask by doing. I was just saying this. This is a video I was posting last night. And my thing about weight loss is your body is asking. By me climbing up the hills and going and roller skating or doing my flips or whatever, your body is asking for more oxygen. Your body is asking for more strength when I do yoga or whatever. And so it builds, and it builds in increments, and it gets stronger. And that's what happens when I choose to be courageous. I have to ask for the courage. Like, I have no idea if I'm going to die doing this, because your egotism really is invested in telling you you're going to die, and you might, like, who knows? It's like, I'm not gonna die asking for scraps from someone who doesn't know how to love more, or who won't challenge themselves to go to this higher place. I'm not gonna die asking let's just say, if you're dating someone and you want them to just be dating you, and they're dating 6 other people, it's like, that's just the example I got from one of my friends, but that's just coming to mind. It's just like, okay, have fun, bye, peace out. Like, I don't want to be a part of that. Dating's just what's coming to mind. But when you have a divine calling, don't make any excuses. And you'll notice once you take that next step and be courageous, how much of a fog you were in, how much of an addiction you were in. And so what I was going to say with love and toxic relationships, is that you can be addicted to the old messages. It's like the old messages that you were used to hearing in childhood that you just were taught to believe because your subconscious just takes it in without a filter, okay? So it's not your fault, all right? I'm going to tell you, and then I want to wrap this up. It's not your fault. This is what I'm learning so much more. It's like I'm learning this now after I've been a psychologist for so many years. Don't know how many, more than 10, okay? Is your subconscious takes this in childhood without question and believes these horrible things about yourself based on how your parents believed about their own self. So even if they told you we love you and you're great, whatever, or they told you horrible things, by the way they thought about themselves, we pick up that subconsciously. And so if you believe you're worthless or you're never going to amount to anything by their actions, or whatever, or just to live your life based on egotism, that's the only way to live. You learn that, and you don't want to risk living outside of that into your soul's purpose. Like, when you learn that, you take that in subconsciously, and until you consciously bring different messages in or let go of that. And Tony Robbins had us imagine yourself. He did this immersive experience where you imagine yourself 1 year from now still making your same excuses and living your same old way and settling for less than what you're called to. There are people affected by you not choosing to follow your calling. There are people that will resonate with you and need your voice to be out there and your actions, whatever it is you're going to do, for you to do those things so that they are activated, because all these people cross your paths. And so he had us go 1 year in the future not making this choice and see how many relationships it's cost you. This is what he told us, and how much of your job and how much of your life it's robbed from you. Now go 5 years. Feel the feeling of doing that, of still living by your excuses. 5 years. And then he did 10 years, and I won't take his whole thing because you can go to his thing and do that. But it was horrible. And he was like, no, make a noise of what that feels like. And people were like groaning. It felt like I was in the pits of hell by the noises I was hearing people expressing by what they're, when you immerse yourself in that feeling. Now he's like, now stop making excuses and allow divine love to take you and your intuition. That's why I have a class on awakening your intuition, to take you on this higher path, to learn what your highest calling is and do that. Find that. Like, you are rewarded when you take this path. It doesn't matter what your egotism says. As you learn to keep following your courage and be courageous in the midst of fear, then your egotism's still there, but you patterned yourself and stop giving it power over your life. I patterned myself by stop accepting. In my childhood, I learned you're only going to have scraps. That's all you are. So pick the best scraps you can find, And I picked beautiful people that had so much potential and so much capacity in them. I can see it because I have this gift to see soul selves. It's just part of my job. And so I see their soul's potential. And then it's like falling in love with that. And then it's like, oh, wait, that person may not activate this, what LaToya calls beast mode, and I've mentioned her in some of my other videos. They might not do that, and so you're not in charge of that. You go on your path and be the eagle, be the lion, it's like the Lion of Judah, be all that you are called to be. My kid told me, he's 5 years old, Mom, we're kings and queens in heaven. Don't you know that? No one taught him that. He taught me that because he saw it. I wish you so much love.